welcome to the Besties in the Books podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Ashley.
And today we're going to be taking a deep dive into House of Earth and Blood. Crescent City 1. We're going to really take a deep dive into it. But for anyone who doesn't know, the first 15 minutes are spoiler free. So feel free to stick around.
You are safe. If you have not read it yet, or if you're in the midst of reading it, we will tell you when you need to walk away, man. Maybe save it for later. You can save this playlist. And speaking of, let's give a little mention to please make sure to subscribe and follow us on anywhere that you get your podcast. You know the spiel, yada, yada. Yes. But for those of you who are just currently listening to this episode, thank you so much, first of all, to anybody who's listening and tuning in. But you can also watch this if you so like, if you so choose, because we are video recording this and those uploads will be on YouTube. And we are at the Besties in the Books podcast everywhere. Yay. You can also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all those things for some extended content.
Awesome. Yeah. If you just feel like chit-chatting with us, if you need someone to talk to.
Yeah, especially, that's what I really like about the YouTube post, by putting YouTube podcasts on YouTube, is that gives us a space to be able to comment back with you and talk through things. If there's anything you want to mention, or we do like some little silly like games at one point, you'll be able to comment along with us. Where I believe podcasting, at least where I listen to it, I have no way of interacting except leaving reviews. One way. Yeah, which we appreciate reviews and everything. Anytime you want to leave a review for us on any podcasting platforms. But yeah, if you want a more two-way street when we can.
Yeah, an interactive.
Yeah. And meet other people and find interests and things. That's what this community is all about, baby. That's what Christmas is all about.
We aim for 15 minutes of spoiler free, but truthfully, guys, I mean,
that was not really rehearsed just now. Like, that just goes on.
Yeah, we're just gonna do what we do.
Yeah, but roughly, more or less.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll give you the heads up.
Yeah.
To peace out if you have not yet read the book or if you don't want any spoilers. But for now, you're safe. So we're just gonna start with our faves and fails of the week. Yeah,
it's a little thing that we're gonna try out. We're gonna see how we like doing. So it's something that you can know when you're tuning in weekly to us.
Expect. Yeah. So this week's a little bit unique because I'm down here visiting Ashley. So that's obviously part of my faves of the week, is just being able to be on vacation, hanging out with you. And it's been really fun just getting all of this going, working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely my fave of the week. But then also, I mean, obviously we're going to get into the HOFAS.
Yeah, our mutual fave, because my fave is the same thing, obviously. I got to have my best friend of 22 years here with me who lives 13 hours away. Lots of numbers. And
for anyone who needs specifics.
Yeah, for anybody who needs specifics. So we don't always, get to be in person together. So we're creating all the content and hanging out, but also reading the third installment of this series, Crescent City, that just came out, HOFAS. So we are reading when we can and eating all the vegan foods with Liz and trying to do some fun stuff, but also just hanging out and just being, because sometimes it's nice. Just, it's cozy. It's January right now. We're just cozy and vibing.
Just hanging out.
And, so our mutual fave, obviously, was the scavenger hunt that we did for House of Flame and Shadow.
Yes, if you follow us on social media.
We're just going to plug ourselves. Because you just need to know where to find all of our shenanigans.
Well, so our fave was obviously going around, and anyone who has been anticipating, the release of House of Flame and Shadow knows that it got released in 5 different variations with bonus chapters.
Yeah,
so,
at different stores. So like Barnes & Noble's got their special chapters.
Essentially, we wanted to collect them all.
Yeah, like Pokemon.
Yeah.
But with books.
And so for me, this series is my personal favorite series ever. Like, not just like in the SJM, like Sarah J. Maas world, but like in life. So I wanted to have all of them. So we went all over. So down here we went to Walmart, Target.
Well, first of all, I would say we need to rewind.
Okay.
To the drama, the dramatics of this announcement. When you knew you were going to be coming here in January anyway, so then when it was announced that the launch date was going to be around the time that she was coming, it's like, oh, for sure then.
I reconfigured my whole time off to accommodate this launch.
Yeah. And no plane tickets were bought. This was already this was a long time ago still. Yeah. But enough time so we can do that. So that there's that. And then we had to figure out, okay, are we buying every book with the bonus chapters? Because she did say she's going to be releasing them later on for the general public. So don't feel like you have to get them all, you know, they will be released. But if you don't have to, but if you want to. And they're going to be online. So they will,
let's be
you know.
honest.
So, yeah, because that's a whole separate thing.
Issue,
but
yeah.
story issue, yeah, everything. So we were trying to figure out. So yeah, I'm kind of mixed. Like, I don't feel like I need to have all of them. I don't have the space or the room, but you want to collect them all. Yeah. One of the bookstores, the first one that we decided to order from was Books A Million, because we're in California. There's no store. So we had to do the online order for that. And so we did that. I thought that was it. I thought that's all I did. And then I was going to like fill in the blanks on the scavenger hunt. And then I was going to get apparently, allegedly, at some point, because I didn't remember ordering from Walmart. And I got a notification like 2 days before. Apparently I was like, I need that chapter. Because the Books A Million chapter was like the least one I was excited for. But I just wanted to make sure I had it for the scavenger hunt reason. Yeah. And repurpose it in other ways, you know? Yeah. So that's so I blacked out with that. So going into it, that's what we had, plus your indie bookstore edition. Yeah,
so going into it, I knew for a fact, like, because I wanted to have fun with the scavenger hunt too, but I didn't want to miss out on the edition I knew I wanted. Yeah. So I also ordered Books A Million because we don't have one here, but then I chose to get the Barnes & Noble edition because that's the bonus chapter I knew that I wanted.
Yeah, like if you can't find anything at any other store, at least you have the one that you really want.
Yeah, so we made sure we covered our bases there. And then I did order us the indie bookstore version from Eureka Books in Eureka, just in case, you know, you guys ever want to check it out. And so that was covered too. So really what we were looking for was going to
just have some fun. We could see. Especially after the Iron Flame launch.
Yeah.
After fourth, the second Fourth Wing, that was just like chaos and pandemonium.
Yeah, it was.
Truly. Everybody's books were late that ordered online. Stores were putting them out too early. The things were getting sold out within a day. So we just didn't know what to expect, and we kind of wanted to just experience it together.
It was so fun.
It was so fun.
It was so fun. Like we
had a plan the night before. We like went and looked at all the store hours for everything and mapped it out. And then I have 2 kids, and one of them needs to be taken to school, and it lined up perfectly.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
It actually went super smooth. It was not chaotic at all.
So smooth, even though the first store didn't have it.
Yeah, and that was even fun. So we went to Walmart first. We actually we're
6 in the morning. We leave at like 5:45, so we're there right before it opens.
It's like
still dark. At 6.
Yeah, and we see a girl, you know, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be someone who's here for this.
We're like joking about the people that are obviously not. Oh, they're here for it. They're here for it.
And then we see her, and
we're like,
we
did like a this thing, and she's like,
Ashley's just signaling with her arms.
I'm just like, she's gonna know what it means. And then she's like, and then she turned around and she's like, are you guys here for HOFAS? Yes, we are. And we all kind of like walked together and we're chatting about it. And it was just really cute.
See, that's what this community is about. That's why we're doing this.
I loved it. It was so fun.
Because that's awesome. I love meeting you guys out in the wild. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did that. They didn't have it.
After all that, but we made memories.
Yeah.
We made some friends along the way. Is HOFAS is really just the friends you made along the way.
You know? But it was good. It was super good. And then after that, we took a little coffee break, and then we went to Target, right?
No, we didn't. Yeah, we took a coffee break at home. I had to take my daughter to school, and then Target opened it almost lined up perfectly,
like
right?
At 8, I think.
So we got there right before it opened again. There were some people there also getting it. Later risers. There was a lot there.
Yeah.
In the front stands.
Still, update. This was obviously on release day. Okay, well today, I'm like, what even day
Not
is
even
it?
a week ago, though. It was like 5 days later. Saturday today that we're filming this.
Yeah. There still are, we went to Target today just to pick something up. There still are Target editions with the special sticker left.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's mixed, and I'm scared that a lot of people don't know, and it's so sad. But I mean, the stickers on it, but that's what we noticed about Barnes & Nobles, which we'll get to. But you have to, if you want the bonus chapters, there has to be a special sticker on it.
Yeah, you have to look for the special sticker.
Because once those are gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Update, there's still some left. Yeah. At least at one Target.
There's some in Southern California. Yeah. I think they ordered enough this time after seeing the Iron Flame fiasco, you know?
Yeah.
So we had Target, we were good, and then we went We had like a little bit, like a half an hour between Barnes and Noble, so we went and we're hanging out in the parking lot. Barnes and Noble's was popping.
Yeah, it was busy.
Like,
for sure.
I love to see it.
Yeah.
Love it. So it was like, people were starting to line. I didn't think we needed to get in line or anything, so we're just hanging out in the car, and we see
all
a
of a
guy.
sudden a swarm kind of comes.
We see a guy in like joggers, and we were like joking first, like it's him, and then, or he's there for that. And we're like, no, just kidding. He looked like the kind of guy that you would just see hanging out at Starbucks. So there's a Starbucks in the Barnes and Nobles. He's like, man, there's like a million Starbucks around here, but he wants to wait for this one.
We did not pinpoint him for someone running in to get some HOFAS.
Spoiler alert, he was the one. First in line. Looking for the signed editions, bought two. So shout out to that man for just living his best life and freaking finding good books, you know? Because they're amazing.
Like the one guy, right? The one in a million. You'd be that guy.
And he knew all the questions to ask. He was like ready to go. I loved it. I just love it because books are for everyone. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody was swarming. Like, everybody was getting it in a polite way.
Yeah, everyone was great.
Then they had a stand with the ones with the stickers, and you noticed.
The other ones did not.
There's like a little separate area, and they didn't have the sticker. That's when I was like, oh no, I hope people are getting their editions that they want, not just going to the store,
Yeah, so you gotta look for the special sticker.
Yeah. We learned.
So that was our hunt, our scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunt or adventure.
It was awesome.
And then we couldn't read it yet.
Then we couldn't
because
read it yet.
Liz was doing a recap.
I was doing a reread. Okay.
But it was good. It was necessary.
I read it a long time ago. So I just wanted to make sure, as you know, if you're into these books, they're very world building heavy. So I didn't want to forget major plot points. And I'm the type of person who's like, I read a book and it's like, falls out of my brain like almost immediately. I'm that person where it's really hard for me to remember stuff from books.
It's been like 6 years.
I mean, not that long. Not that long? Okay. Not that long. No, because I don't remember when they came out. But it's been a while, and I have read a lot of books since then. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure that I could recap it. I read House of Earth and Blood, I don't even know, in like maybe 3 days or something very fast. Yeah. But then, HOEAB, which is actually my favorite. Obviously, so far there's only 2, but it's my favorite. Yeah. Well, I guess there's 3, but I haven't read it all the way. Okay.
Of the ones you've read so far.
Of the ones I've read so far. It just took me forever to read it because I had so much going on.
Yeah,
like trying to leave, go out of town, shut down my business enough to where I could go. It was it was really chaotic. So I'm just glad I got it done within only 3 days of being here.
And you did because I was getting antsy.
Oh, and that last day I read like 450 pages or something.
Which is a third of the book.
Or like
almost half. Because it's a big boy. Yeah. It's girthy.
Like this one back here for anyone watching the video.
So, you did it, and thank you.
You're
so proud of you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so right now we're currently reading book 3.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. It's exciting.
Yep. So that's our faves and a quick fail of the week.
Yeah, my fail of the week. Okay, so again, we're doing this scavenger hunt. I'm all amped. I hadn't really decided I wanted all 5 editions until I got here.
Yeah, and you had almost all of them. You were just missing one, really.
I was missing one, and I was like, okay, the only one that I didn't pre-order or that we didn't find was the Walmart edition. And so I'm like, well, I can't have all 4 and then just be missing the Walmart edition. That's sad. Yeah. That'll just haunt me.
And that was just a weird thing happening where Walmarts weren't getting them. Yeah. I still don't know. I think mine ended up getting it 2 days later, but it's
questionable though if it's the limited edition one or if it's just the regular. Yeah. So, lo and behold, okay, so I live in a tiny town. In Northern California. Lo and behold, I look on Walmart's website and they actually have a few of the exclusive Walmart editions there. And I'm like, what? Okay, all right. So I'm like, well, I'm going to order it, but I'm going to do it for pickup because I was like, if I do it for shipping, I'm afraid they're going to ship me the wrong one. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I don't want the other one. I want the special edition one with the sticker on it. So, I make sure to make it for pickup, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to have someone go pick this up for me. And then it kind of turned into a fiasco. We'll just leave it at that. It turned into a bit of a fiasco. Yeah. And my husband had never picked anything up from Walmart before, so he didn't know what he was doing, and I had to add him on as a pickup person, and I've never picked up from Walmart before because I'm a Target shopper. Yeah. And so it was a whole thing. I called the store. They wouldn't let me do it. It was like a whole thing. So my husband got super frazzled about it, which in retrospect kind of makes sense now that I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him on the phone about it, and he's asking me all these questions about what to do to pick it up, and he was driving me kind of crazy. And so I hung up the phone. I was like, oh, he's driving me crazy. But I hadn't hung up the phone. And so he got to hear me say that.
Nobody loves to hear.
Yeah. So that was my fail of the week, but I just have to say that it was induced by the hype.
Yeah.
Of HOEAB.
And the like pressure and the drama and the stress and the timeline.
HOFAS, sorry. Yeah, exactly.
And you know there's only 3 copies or whatever.
Yeah, it's like one of them had to be mine. He was a good sport about it. I mean, he was upset, obviously, but he got it for me. He sent me pictures. It's the right one. And then he proceeded to make fun of me for collecting something from Walmart.
That was good. Those are good screenshots.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you got to go pick one up from Kmart and like, Rite Aid, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty funny. But anyways, so that was my fail of the week. But, all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
So I just got to go pick up our editions from the indie bookstore, and then our collections will be complete.
Yep.
So, all right, so what was your fail?
My fail,
know,
so for you guys just tuning in here, this is our 2nd official episode. And so that means that we're bulk filming, as much as we can get done while she's here for the couple weeks. And yesterday was when we filmed the About Us first episode, which was full of issues, as any first recording will be. And I come from a YouTube background, so I got this. And I researched everything because podcasting is a little different. But, and I'm adding a second person. And the way I'm trying to make it is that we can do this remotely and make it as seamless and smooth for you guys as a viewer as possible. So it doesn't look weird and it makes sense and it's good. So I want it to be a certain way. So I did all this research for its podcasting platform that you stream on, and it was just a mess. We were here for 2 we're ready to film. I think it's simple enough they make it sound like, and it was just one disaster after another. Okay, they flipped our screens, which was annoying, and then and I won't go into it because I know not everybody cares about space.
We were facing the wrong direction.
We were facing the wrong direction, so it looks like we're having a podcast like this.
Back to back, yeah.
So it took us 40 minutes to figure out how to hack the system, essentially, go around this weird thing. And then our mics weren't working, and then they're echoing, but then we found out that's just what happens with the processor. So we end up doing the whole thing. We do the episode. It's seemingly great, which I'm neurotic about not having backups of things. So luckily I recorded everything on hard drives and voice memos and everything while we were filming. And I ended up having to need to do that because the quality was trash of the video and the voice, which was not salvageable. So thank God I had hard copies of everything.
Yeah.
So that was my fail.
I'm not the tech person, so I'm just thankful. Yeah. I'm flying by the seat of my pants with that.
Woo! But we got through it, and that is why I have backups of things. Yeah. Because of this instance. So,
and I mean, is that really a fail? It's not really a fail.
That software is a fail.
Yeah, the software.
I said I'm throwing the provial software in the trash, throwing out the window and smashing it, like Office Space style. Like you have your stories about that, I can't believe it. Still,
that it was that bad.
That it was that bad. And it was the number 1 rated best podcasting software.
Well, here we are figuring it out. We're
making it work.
You're kind of figuring it out. But it's good.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's my favorite part when it goes well.
Yeah. So that's faves and fails of the week. That was good. Yeah. I feel like it's been a good week. And I'm still here for another week.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny. It's nice to have somebody to go through the fail with, too, Yeah, still fun. Still good.
There are some good bloopers. Maybe you guys will see some of those at some point.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Of just losing our minds. This is unbelievable. Okay. I knew things were going to go, not go smoothly anytime you do the first step when it's that bad.
But it was extreme.
Well,
and it's Ashley tends to talk things out. I think you talk things out when you're frustrated in that way a little bit. So she's talking to try to figure it out. I get really quiet and contemplative. And so then there's just all these snippets of Ashley just trying to figure it out and talking. And I'm just staring at her just staring.
Just observing.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out.
You're kind of shutting down.
Yeah.
And I am in my own way.
But it's if I freak out,
Yeah,
that's not
that's
going
not
to
gonna
help
help
anything.
me. But it's funny because like I'm not even knowing this is going on because I'm in my own headspace. But watching the playback, and I'm just
It's very
like,
funny. It's
oh
funny.
my gosh. Okay, well, and you're just like, you look like a queen looking upon her like peasants, like the lowly people. Like, yes, figure it out, peasant. Even though it's not at all what it is, because I know you. But it was just so funny to see the playback. Yeah. And I know you're like breaking down, like, I'm not gonna pay. I'm not gonna. She's gonna figure it out. She's got this. I believe in her. I trust her.
Yeah.
And it was just so funny to see.
Yeah. No, like it takes me back to high school, like when we would work on school projects together. There's always technical issues, guys. Like we were going to high school in the like early 2000s. The technology, it just wasn't even there. So we always had, we had to do stuff on paint still.
Yeah.
Like paint, if you remember that.
Drawing like stick figures on our projects.
But like, so I remember that. There would be like many a day where we couldn't figure out how to like get the projector to work, but Ashley always came through. She always came through. So I learned to trust the process, but that doesn't mean that in the meantime, I'm not internally freaking out.
Yeah. And that's why we're so great together for this, you know, is because we can handle each other's like things.
Like freakouts without freaking each other out. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, you're not adding fuel to the fire. Just like, this is kind of terrible. Because I don't know if I would be able to sort through it. Because I'm very much like I'm saying things out loud, but I don't necessarily mean like I'm just going through the motions. Yeah. Just talking out loud, talking myself through this.
Off the ledge.
Yeah.
Off the ledge.
Yeah. Oh. So there we go.
Okay. So to go into our spoiler-free portion of our reviews, back to House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City 1. We're just going to do a really quick, just to top it off, what our star review is, who we think the book would be good for, and then we're going to give one critique. So with this book, we're doing critiques because we both really like the book. If we both just liked the book, we try to find something good about it. But there's a lot good about this. So we don't really need to talk about that. Yeah. So for me, it's easily a 5-star review. Easily one of my favorite books of all time. Yeah. I think that it's good for anyone who enjoys romantasy, anyone who enjoys high fantasy. Yeah, I mean, if you like fantasy in any capacity, I think that you'd probably enjoy it. It has a little bit of spice, but it's minimal. So, like, book one is pretty minimal. It's pretty tame. So if you're not super, super into the romance part, I think it'd still be good for you. But then you'd be sucked into book 2. So we'll get there later. So that's what I think it'd be good for. Anyone who likes fantasy, anyone who likes romance, fantasy. I don't know that I necessarily recommend it for someone who's just into romance, though, because it's a lot. Yeah. If you're not into fantasy.
To start with.
Yeah, to start with. Yeah. One critique, that's what I would say. The world building's really intense. So I love world building. Like, I love it so much. And even for me, like, the first time I read it, it was a little bit intense for me. Like, just trying to remember everything was a lot. So it's a critique. It's like, you kind of... Once you get through it, like when I did the reread, I really, really, really enjoyed it because I didn't have to pay that much attention to all that stuff because I already had it in my brain. But I could see how that would be problematic for a lot of people. And I've had a lot of people, kind of tell me about that. Like, oh my gosh, this was kind of crazy. Does it get better? Like, and easier to understand? And I'm like, just try if you don't try to memorize everything, you'll be fine. Yeah. You just have to kind of like enjoy the ride.
They'll repeat some things and stuff. Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents. Yeah. So what about you?
So 5 stars, of course. And it's like the circle of death floating. I forgot what happens next.
Who's it good for?
Who's it good for? Okay. Yeah, no, literally the same thing, except maybe I was thinking about it just because I had somebody ask me for some sci-fi recommendations, and I don't really have much experience in that world, but I thought it would be a good sci-fi fantasy crossover just because of all of the, when I think of sci-fi, I think of a lot of different types of political powers at play. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like there's some elements to that in a not boring way. Like, I don't want to scare anybody off who doesn't like that, but there are it's set in modern times.
Yeah, it's like essentially urban fantasy.
Yeah, it's urban fantasy. So it's just a take that was so new to me, and it was so exciting because you have like what we think of as like old fantasy mythical creatures in a new modern day world.
Yeah, it's
with
not
modern
like medieval like a lot of the other things that we
and almost
would be.
futuristic technology in some cases. So I think that if you're looking for something like that, it's really cool. Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
yeah. My critique is a little bit of a spoiler, though. Something, okay, I can make it not spoiler. Something happens early on that I was like, whoa, I needed some more time before that hits the fan.
Is it the chapter 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so anyone who's read it before, you know what happens in chapter 5. I can see
I feel
that.
like just saying this for anybody that reads it, even without specifics, knows. Like, that was right out the gate. But I felt like that was Sarah's thing of like, oh, it takes still 75% for something crazy to... Well, here you go, jab.
Yeah.
Stabby, stabby. Like, there you go. Eat our words, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
see, I didn't mind that.
Oh, it was just a lot. I wasn't mentally prepared.
I mean, I don't want to say I liked it, but I did.
For... You cold-hearted fool.
No, just like the pacing.
Yeah.
I liked the pacing.
The pacing was amazing. It was great the whole time.
Yeah, but it was a lot.
Like, things were happening right away. You'd have to know that, like, buckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
It's going to be happening right out the gate, which is good sometimes. Like, enough of the... But you also have the world building, so it's good.
One person's critique is another person's treasure.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, man.
Okay, so...
Smell what you're stepping in.
I guess this would be a good time anyway, just to roll right into what we would consider to be the spoiler portion of the podcast. So if you've made it this far, thank you. If you are not wanting spoilers, then now would be your warning.
Yes.
That we're about to get into spoilers, starting with chapter 5.
So we'll see you, if you have to leave, we'll see you another time. Yep. We'll see you later and back in this episode because you're going to save it to your playlist and listen to it later.
Yes,
so thanks so much.
Please do.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Okay, so basically we're like introduced to the characters and then Danica dies.
Her best friend.
Yeah.
Right, you guys know that because we've all read it. We have to this is the part where we feel like we need to talk to somebody about this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys do too.
This is like a therapy session.
It's like a therapy, for her book, like trauma. And also a bit of a recap for anybody that's reading, the new House of Flame and Shadow and wants some like recap.
I will say though, this is vibes. Like we're flying on vibes. Like we're not sitting here with like detailed notes. If you're wanting someone who's like picked this apart with a fine tooth comb and like annotated every section and is like, putting the yarn on the thing.
Well, I do that in my mind.
Yeah, we do that in our mind.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, conspiracy theories. We'll get into those later in different episodes. Yeah. But we're kind of we're talking about what we think what we think were important.
Yeah.
The major things that stuck out to us.
That we need to hash out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's more of our style.
Just so you know what you're signing up for here. Yeah.
And, we have a tendency towards sarcasm and making things kind of funny. So also that's where we're going with this.
Yeah.
So right out of the gate, one of the main characters, or who we think is going to be one of the main characters.
Yeah.
Dead.
Dead.
Like really though. Seriously.
Well?
I mean, maybe. Kinda.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Yeah. It was brutal. It was. I was laying, and that's why too. So I was putting my baby to sleep, holding her little hand, reading at my Kindle, and I'm like, what?
Aww, yeah.
As soon as I was done putting her to sleep, I'm like, Liz! Because obviously she's the one that told me to read these, so I had to blame her for my trauma.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was brutal. It's like right out the gate, but it was necessary completely.
Yeah, to push the plot.
It didn't feel like that at first, but it was.
Well, because she wouldn't have met Hunt.
Yeah.
If she didn't have the maybe she would have, but if she didn't have that reason to
find the horn.
I know, that's like a whole other...
Like, I forgot about that.
I mean, that was like what they're... Yeah, exactly. Like what they're searching for or whatever. Yeah, which obviously we know all along was like inside her or whatever.
The horn is the friends you made along the way.
So we meet Hunt. He's like... So now they're like little detective partners.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
That like hate each other but like love each other.
Yeah. But it's like... It was funny because the first time reading it, I feel like I was so focused, like I said, on like all the details that I kind of missed a lot of like the, I don't know, like the personality of the characters.
Oh.
And so the second time reading it was hilarious because I was like, I feel like this is just like fantasy CSI. Like, it was just so fun. Like, they're just like investigating crime scenes together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was kind of cute and funny, but I love their banter. I feel like they're like kind of, you know, yeah, I guess you could call it like an enemies to lovers maybe situation.
Well, yeah, and he just doesn't take her seriously. She's party girl, and she doesn't take him seriously. Like, old macho Faye, you know.
Yeah,
Faye
alpha hole.
Alpha hole. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but I loved Hunt from the very first, from the first sight. I don't know what you call that.
Whatever.
First reading of him.
After he just like slaughtered people.
I mean, it's my type. He's
Yeah.
my type.
You got it.
You guys will figure that out as we go along if you don't already know that.
That's my type.
But yeah, I mean, I liked Hunt right away. I liked Bryce also though.
Yes.
I really liked her too.
She was great.
And then we find out, okay, so there's like this whole cult following for Rune, right? Like people are obsessed with him, and that's obviously her brother.
Yeah.
He's, you know, quote unquote starborn as well. We kind of find out later, obviously, that they both have powers, but she's actually the quote unquote starborn heir.
Yeah.
You know, Rune doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
Like, I like him. He's kind of like a little cute little brother.
Yeah.
But people really like him. What did you think about him?
I like don't give those things much thought.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think about it either until everybody's like posting all his
Obsessed
character art, and I was like, oh, I never
with
even
Rune.
like the picture in my head was totally different because I'm terrible at these things. Like, and I kind of glaze over apparently descriptions of people, so they don't hold hard. And there was a lot going on in that book.
Yeah,
so
a lot.
I wasn't focused on like any things like looks wise, but just like the overall vibe. It was just very frat boy. So and like just young, like he needed to figure himself out and stuff. So
even though he's like kind of old, he's not as old as Hunt. Hunt's like what 233 years old or something.
So like, but allegedly, like he's a couple years older than Bryce, but he gives off younger brother vibes.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
Yeah, that's not either of our types for sure. So yeah, I didn't have any vibes with that necessarily. I was like, I don't know, is this going to be like it's like an annoying little brother situation because they don't know where they really like stand as far as siblings go. There's like a lot of distrust there, and then like overprotectiveness. So
they have like a falling out, obviously, and then throughout the book they learn to like come back together again, which I really liked. I enjoyed that part of it for sure. So okay, so they're trying to solve this mystery. Yeah. Of the horn, and then you have like the synth situation.
Yeah, with the demon that's chasing her essentially randomly at different times. That's my summarization of it.
Yeah, so they find out that Danica was essentially on to some kind of conspiracy involving this, you know, artificial drug that's like also has like what scientific magical qualities. It was like
it's like harnessing magic and putting it into drugs and manipulating people.
As you do,
as one does in a lab, in an evil science lab in the Fae world.
Yeah, so they're trying to like figure that out, like where it's coming from, right? Like who's selling it. I can't really.
That's what I was like leaning towards the other night when we were talking about this. Like, there has to be a reason why, because that was her date. On like the first date that she had in that book was being on a date with the like son of the guy who works there,
the like plant that was making
like, I don't think
whatever.
that was by happenstance. Like
maybe
that's
not.
what I mean. Like I know we find out that maybe, but I don't remember if they touched back on like he was scouting her out by any means.
No, it might have been like
why was she on a date with him? That's interesting.
So you find out that Danica was like coming to Bryce's work, not necessarily to visit her, but to scope out the books and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it was a similar thing to where it's like Bryce was dating him because maybe like Danica encouraged it in the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Like, so she could get more information or something like that. I don't know. We don't really know, but like it could have been something as simple as that. I don't think it was like a deep conspiracy though. I mean, you never know, but I don't think so.
I'll put it past anything with Miss Maas.
I know. So, okay. So then we have like this major turning point where basically Hunt has decided to work with, who was it? Victoria and what was the name of the other guy? I can't even remember. Oh, I'm blanking out on it. But anyways, it was like the two people that he was working with to like steal the synth to try to like amp themselves up to be able to like overtake everyone and basically have another rebellion.
Yeah.
And he realized like, oh, that's going to be a bad idea when they saw the video footage that, you know, Danica had like stored away or whatever for Bryce to find of the person like ripping her own self to shreds or whatever. He was like, oh, this is not a good idea. But then of course, in rolls Bryce with Therion.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, like you kept this from me. And they have like this big falling out situation.
Right when they were about to have like some love blossom. Yeah. Like things of like, okay, I can trust you. Yeah, I like you. And then it's like, but then you go and do this.
Yeah. It was like a slow burn. It's a slow burn, guys, for sure. Because I feel like they go back and forth and back and forth. Yeah. Like love, hate, like a lot.
Yeah. And then right when they're on the cusp of like seeing each other for who they really are without the Umbra Mortis and how he's just like a regular dude. And then how Bryce isn't the party girl that everybody thinks that she is. And then it's the betrayal. Yeah. Hunt's betrayal. And everybody has their own feelings about that.
I think...
Would you like to talk about it?
I would like to talk about it.
Okay. The floor is yours.
Well, I would like to talk about it because I feel like people, or some people, really dislike Hunt for doing that. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like if you were enslaved for hundreds of years and had the opportunity to potentially free yourself again... You'd probably take that opportunity. Yeah. And, like, I wouldn't really hold it against you. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, yeah, it sucks that he kept that from Bryce and, like, kind of... But he really only strung her along, having her search for it for, like, 2 weeks. Yeah. That's not that long. Yeah. Like, they had known each other for, like, 1 month.
In a world of immortality.
Yeah, exactly.
You definitely are probably a different person and view things differently when it's however many... hundreds of years later versus 2 weeks of, you know, someone who doesn't have that experience.
So personally, I think it makes him a believable character. Yes. I feel like for someone of his, like, capability and strength, but then also, yeah, like, his long lifespan, to have said no to something like that... Yeah. Given the opportunity, I mean, he could have done that, but I feel like it makes more sense for him to say, yes, I'll help you, because what else does he have to lose? To be enslaved for another 200 years?
Yeah, and not only that, but he has, like, this kill list that he has to accomplish before he can be free, and he knows how his... what do you call him? Micah is like his
like boss,
like, but slash like slave manager. Like he has to do this. Like I don't know what else to call it. Like he is in this contract with him
to basically kill over 1,000 people or something.
Yeah, and he knows that the goal can always be pushed, and anytime he messes up, it can be added to it. So it's basically like a jail sentence, but with a tiny bit of freedom. Like you know.
So, I mean, I personally, it didn't bother me.
Yeah, it took me some time to, like, process all that, you know? Because I'm like, oh, no, my gosh. And I'm an Aquarius, so I tend to be, like, very cut and dry. Like, oh, you wronged me? Bye. So I'm really bad at it. It's something that I work on in my life. So with that, through the books, we can see that it's good to look through other people's perspectives and their life flights. And, yeah, when you put it to me as, like, yeah... You know, it's about his freedom, hundreds of years. Maybe you don't throw that all away for a girl you just met.
Yeah, like 1 month ago. Yeah. Who, like, at this point, they, like, are clearly falling in love. Yeah. But
still.
Where is it going?
Where is it going to go? Yeah. Like, there's a bunch of crazy stuff happening. It's deeper than we know. And you might need to take, even though it was a fool's chance, you might need to take the chance. Yeah. You know? Desperation, man. And it's his friends, too, that he's trying to help get out.
I wish I could remember that guy's name. Why am I forgetting it?
Isaiah? You're talking about his friends? Like the ones that he works with?
Well, it was... So, Victoria ends up disembodied, put in that box, and then thrown to the bottom of the trench to suffer for eternity.
Yeah, and Isaiah, I think is his name.
Is the one who got crucified. Yeah, it's a bummer, guys.
No, there's a girl. Isaiah...
Victoria.
I know, there's 3.
Well, no, the 2 that got killed. I can't remember his name. There was 2 that got killed. Well, I guess Victoria technically isn't dead. She's, as far as we know, still down in the trench.
Yeah, poor girl.
But there was a guy who got killed.
Yeah, I think it's Isaiah. I'm pretty sure it's his name.
I can't remember, guys. You know who it is. See this?
Yeah, comment below.
Yeah, comment below. Who was it? We could Google it, but you know what I mean.
You Google.
So while Bryce and Micah are in this like crazy situation. It's being broadcast by Declan, I think, right?
Yeah.
To the comitium. I feel like I'm speaking in another language.
I know.
Sometimes. So if we get names and stuff wrong, guys, or we pronounce things wrong, just like it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Fill in the mistake.
It's like we're fantasy readers. We don't know how to pronounce anything. You know? But so they're over there watching everything. Like on
basically
the
like a big
screen.
convention.
Yeah, and they're watching everything go down. You know,
Yeah.
and essentially, I'm like, Hunt ends up killing Sandriel.
Yeah.
Sandriel.
Yeah.
By basically ripping her entire head off, but that's after Hypaxia frees Hunt of his tattoo.
Yeah, which releases his powers.
Which releases his full powers.
And can make it so he can rip her head off just like that.
Which is great and cool.
No complaints
but then at the same
necessarily.
time, like we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
We just don't really, I don't think we fully understand at this point, like what Hypaxia's role and everything is going to be.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she was a fairly minor character, all things said and done. And the fact that she like freed Hunt so willingly. I mean, not that she shouldn't
quickly,
have.
and just the right time where nobody could stop him.
Right.
Like, and there's enough distraction going on.
Yeah.
And like, why were they essentially okay, like just let go from that?
Yeah, like there was no, I mean, obviously he killed the governor, so there wasn't that person. But there was, you know, her minions and people around. Like someone could have done something about it. Everyone was just kind of like, well, maybe they were just afraid of him at that point.
There's enough chaos going on. Like all hell, like you said,
literally is breaking loose. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was pretty crazy too. So yeah, while all that's going on, Hunt is like now in his full power too. And now it's just like pandemonium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we're glad it happened.
We're glad it happened.
But like, why? What's going to happen with Apaxia and like, you know, Hunt? Like, what? You guys got to read the next book, which most of us have.
Okay, so that all happens. Well, then Bryce still hasn't made the drop because she was always going to make it with Danica. Danica obviously is no more, or so we think.
Yeah. So
she is not immortal. She still has a mortal lifespan. Micah gets past all the wards, breaks into her work, goes down into the, you know, archives downstairs, and basically is like going to kill her.
Yeah.
He wants to just, it kind of seems like he just wants to take over. Like he just wants the power for himself.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of seemed like he went rogue, like against the Asteria and everyone. Like he just wanted to be all powerful.
Yeah.
So he wants to take this synth so that he could just like control the world with it, I guess. Right?
Something like that. That's what it seemed like.
So essentially they get into a big fight, and Lihaba, I'm not really sure how to say her name, but she sacrifices herself to cause the flood to kind of hold him off until Bryce is able to like get the gun, Jessica's gun, to like kill him.
Yeah.
So then, obviously that's a super iconic scene because then she vacuums him up.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of the joke.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it is
Make sure that he can never regenerate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very efficient.
So she's all amped up, like Hulk style, on synth because he injects her with it.
Yeah.
But she, not realizing that she has the antidote.
Yeah.
From Hypaxia. Yeah, so it was like a whole thing. But it was great. I feel like that was a really, really good, like, not ending, because obviously a bunch more crazy stuff happens after that.
So much happens in this book. It's wild.
But it was good. I felt like it was a good twisty-turny part.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So then meanwhile, outside, Micah has, like, opened all the gates to hell. So then there's all these, like, creatures literally coming through. Demons and whatnot, killing everyone. No one cares about the humans.
Yeah.
And so Bryce goes to save everyone. And basically ends up doing the drop where Danica helps her.
Yeah.
Sacrifices her spot in the afterlife to help her through. And then Bryce ends up being more powerful than the Autumn King.
Brutal, but beautiful.
I know. It was a great couple chapters.
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely cried both times.
Yeah.
During that part.
Yeah.
It was good.
Because so much is, it was so well done that so much can be happening, but you can process it. And like, it makes sense.
Well, I thought what was unique is that even though Danica does die within the first 5 chapters, I feel like she is a character throughout the whole book enough to where when that happens at the end, you actually feel something. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is when in the 11th hour in a fantasy book, they're going to kill someone off, and then they choose someone who like we really didn't care that much about.
That
and it
or
falls
like
flat.
if they're not significant to us and then they
Yeah.
like come and save the day.
Yes,
like this,
exactly.
Danica has literally talked about the entire time. All of the things that she was working on is slowly uncovered more and more.
All the history that
Yeah.
they've had together.
Like where she was hiding everything, you know, is interlaced into Bryce. Literally.
Well, yeah, and just the fact that she had all of that foresight to, you know, have the horn tattooed into Bryce's back.
Yeah.
You know, hide this flash drive with the footage, like, you know, and people, I feel like a lot of people call Danica a bad friend because of all the things she kept from her or, you know, quote unquote lied about.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, obviously she met her demise and didn't want that for Bryce also.
And these are high stakes here.
Yeah.
This isn't like anything that's happens in our world like that. This isn't your friend going to brunch without you. This is
Like
major
life
trying
and
to
death.
take down the powers that be. So
Rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was the best thing she could do with a bad situation.
I agree.
And having her be there to help her through the drop. The drop is crazy to me.
It is crazy.
Like it's something about that like just trips me out so hard. Like,
I mean, it's pretty cool.
yeah, it's so cool. Like in a cool way. Just like, whoa, you can like drop into like the way I imagine it. And then you have the immortality and rise from your...
I picture it like you're falling down like the rabbit hole, literally.
Yeah.
Like in Alice in Wonderland, you're going down,
crazy.
down, down. That's how I picture it anyways.
Yeah.
And then, you know, once you essentially flatline, then you have to
Yeah.
like shoot back up and out or whatever. And then you come back to life.
So crazy.
It
It's
is
so,
crazy.
such a trip. Like there's like a lot of things like that in these books that are
Yeah.
just like, whoa. It's just so trippy. That's where it makes it like more futuristic-y, sci-fi-y almost for me. That it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, and then it's like in doing so, she ends up, you know, jump-starting Hunt's heart back up.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because he was going to
Yeah.
die.
And then they can move on from there.
But yeah, so basically wraps up with obviously Hunt and Bryce both being alive and also being kind of like revered because of the fact that they kind of like saved as many
like
people
all
as
the
they
demons
saved.
were coming out and they got to kind of see how the different breeds or whatever that you call them are treating people that are fleeing. So,
And she seals all the gates back up
yep.
with her special powers. So she kind of realizes how
Yeah.
powerful she actually is
Yeah.
after she makes the drop and everything. And it almost has like a happily ever after kind of ending.
Yeah, it ends in a way that you feel satiated, but also like there could be more.
Yeah. So
There's
What-
so much more.
what a
guys.
time. I know. It's so crazy.
So keep on reading. If you finish first and you're waiting to do the second, let's get going, booze.
yeah.
Let's go.
So, yeah, so that is pretty much the wrap up that we wanted to do of House of Earth and Blood. We'll be talking about House of Sky and Breath, my personal fave, in a couple weeks or so. We'll go over that and just kind of like, you know, give you guys a little bit more, just a little bit more to chat about, think about before we talk about House of Flame and Shadow.
Yeah, we're kind of like spacing them out for anybody that's not reading these. So we just kind of like can give something to everybody.
Yeah.
You know? Or if you're still reading the second book and need some time, you know? You can consume this in any way you do, just like our TBR stacks.
Yeah. Take your time.
Dealer's
Do what
choice.
you gotta do.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we're going to wrap it up. So we're going to end. We've decided we want to try ending some of our episodes with a quick smasher pass, but we have not run these by each other ahead of time. So these are going to be purely organic
On the fly.
answers. On the fly. Okay, so do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
I want you to go first.
Okay. So my first smasher pass for you is Hades, but from the animated Hercules.
Oh, gosh. Just that. Okay.
Smasher
Oh,
pass.
pass.
But it kind of took you a while.
I
You had to,
don't know
think
why.
about it.
I was like expecting you to say like, or this one. I don't know.
No, it was like literally just Hades with the flame
I don't know.
hair.
I was waiting for something more. Like pass. Like 100%. You?
I mean,
Volley it back. I like his personality.
Yeah, he's got a good
But he's
personality.
super creepy looking. Okay, for you, you have to listen to the whole sentence.
Okay,
So that's
all
why
right.
I think I was doing that because it's very specific. Okay.
I'm listening.
Because you're going to jump the gun.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm listening.
Smash or pass.
Okay.
Hunt, but he's completely in cosplay character of Smeagol. So it's Hunt as Smeagol. Smash or pass?
Smash.
Still. There's nothing he can do.
Well, because
He's Smeagol, though. With, like, the hair. Like, the wispy hair.
and he's still Hunt underneath.
Underneath. Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he has to talk like it. Like, he has to do his
can't.
best version of Smeagol.
I still underneath
You
all
have to, with no hesitation. Oh, smash.
underneath the clothes, Hunt would still be under there. He'd be the buffest Smeagol ever.
I mean, yeah, there's only so much you can, like,
You can
paint
cover up
over,
there,
but he
yeah.
has to, like, be creepy about it.
I mean, I think it would almost be funny. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I'm picturing, like, Smeagol, but with, like, the backwards sunball hat on.
No, you can't. You have to see his little creepy, wispy, like, things.
I mean, it's still a smash.
Okay. She's firm, guys. You've heard it. You heard it here first.
Yeah, right? All right, guys. I think that about wraps it up. Ending
That's a
on
good
that
way to.
note.
That's a good way. That's a good way to go if I have to go.
Yeah, it's gonna haunt my nightmares tonight, so that's good.
No, sounds like your dreams. It's a new fantasy unlocked.
Oh my gosh. No.
Okay, make sure you guys subscribe, follow us anywhere you get your podcast. Don't forget you can watch this on the replay if you so choose on YouTube, and you can comment along with us there. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all those fun places. Thank you guys so much. Bye.